Humans are garbage. Humans are garbage.
So I meet this girl freshman year during orientation. She's one of the few good friends that I make the first semester of college. Let me just tell everyone out there. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna let you know. For the sake of the innocent, we often edit the names and circumstance.
Oh, I wasn't gonna use her name because I'm gonna talk some shit, and I don't want to be sued.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. But you can come up with a fake name. You can call her Becky. Or
Becky's a good name.
Or
actually, I was gonna call her Gina.
Okay, that works too. I was gonna go with
Nice.
Douche Canoe, or but in any case, so Gina.
Gina, yes.
You
So
meet Gina freshman year.
Meet Gina freshman year, and just for everyone out there, just know, my little precious baby trash cans. The people that you hang out with freshman year of college, y'all might be able to back me up, are very rarely the people that you hang out with for the rest of your time in college. You usually make better friends because you just make friends out of convenience the first semester.
That's true.
Exactly.
With the exception of one person who I can tell you has been a lot of work being friends with. I'm pretty much friends with no one that I knew. Freshman
Yeah,
year.
I mean, think about what happened when you left high school. It's going to happen when you leave college.
Right.
When you leave that first year of college, really, it's just
well,
like...
and I have friends
that.
that I have friends from freshman year of college that I'm still friends with, but on the whole, you kind of find yourself more.
You do,
But
for sure.
during orientation, I met this girl. I was there with my best friend who he won't mind his name being in it, Garrett. There with my best friend Garrett, who I've been working with in theater since we were 15, 16 years old. We went to the same college. We're there. We're scared. And they're doing this big ceremony because it's a private Baptist school. So they're really into their ceremony where they're leading us through the campus with people holding torches. And we're like, oh my goodness, we are about to get sacrificed. They're about to slice a goat.
They know.
Or they know what we've done.
Finally.
And this girl comes rushing up to us and she's like, oh my God, isn't this so exciting? This is so legit. And she runs off and we hadn't
She's the
caught
first to get sacrificed.
she was the goat. We hadn't quite caught her name, so we thought her name. We were like, what did she say? What did she say? And for the longest time between the two of us, we called her Gina because the first time we met her, we hadn't heard her name, so we didn't know it until 2 weeks later when one of the professors said it. So that was my first experience with her. Her and I ended up becoming friends. And hanging out a bunch, and we had this little group, this little clique, and then her and I started doing that classic, freshman year to Baptist school, what a girl's gonna do? They're gonna fuck. Oh, they're gonna fuck. So her and I
really wish I had gone to a Baptist college now, but
really wish I could have been a chick at a Baptist college. No,
Right.
man,
Yeah.
it gets a little, at a certain point when you're wanting to be a respectable gentleman and settle down, it's whoa, we can't tell people. If we tell people, Jesus will find out. But
Jesus already knows.
fair enough. Fair
her and
enough.
I ended up hooking up a little bit, and then she decided, she was like, no, this is wrong, and kind of chastised me a little bit. And I was like, okay, no, that's fine. So we made it through that. I was a little hurt because she made me feel like I was gross, and I was like, bruh, we did the same stuff. Fingers went everywhere. It wasn't just me. But we remained friends, and
It's probably too late at this point to mention that we were going for a GPG rated audience.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm
We're
saying no, but I'm telling this. I'm passing this knowledge on to the kids. You don't think they want to know about fingers and pussies?
Yeah, I mean, I think our target audience is 10-year-olds. So
I was going lower.
Well,
I was going
Hey,
between
and
the
with-
5 and 8 range.
well,
If we're talking
with
about-
parents too. So we want parents and their kids to sit down.
Be a
and
bonding
listen.
experience.
Yeah,
this is
Right.
a family show, fuckers.
Yeah.
Right. So, her and I go our separate ways. We end up, dating some guys. I end up in a long-term relationship where I move in with this guy. He went to a different university in the same town, so I ended up moving in with him the second year we were together. We were together for 2 years total. I ended up moving in with him, and because now at this point we're sophomores, and we're theater majors, so we're insane. And my boyfriend was a theater major at this other school, so it's these two theater departments in the most boring nothing town in Arkansas. It's 10,000 people in this town total, and it cuts in half when school isn't in session. So there's not really anything to do. There's not a bowling alley, no movie theater, no bars, nothing.
Shit.
No
So
bowling alley.
I know that's like, but that's like the lowest bar I can think of like,
No,
like
that is-
how do
You
you
don't
not have?
have-
Hey, I come from Russellville, Arkansas, and there are more things to do now. But for a long period of time, it was the bowling alley.
That was it. That was the one thing.
I mean,
We
you
had
know, the movie
Walmart.
theater,
You had to be ballsy enough to
Oh,
set up
dude.
pins in the aisles at Walmart.
Yeah.
No, Walmart is fun. You go there at like 3 in the morning and just watch people. It's
yeah.
great. I once had this is true. I once had a 20-minute conversation with a guy who had a cut open Mountain Dew bottle on his hip that he was spitting into constantly.
Beautiful
That's,
human.
that's class. I bet he could sell that on Etsy. It would be very popular. The hipsters would get it.
I
They'd
imagine
spit their
so.
gum in it.
Yeah, I
That'd be
imagine
great.
so. We had a 20-minute conversation about trucks and meth.
What else does one need in life?
Exactly.
Wells, why haven't we had these conversations?
High school, man.
Oh,
I got it all out then. We can talk about meth later, but in
Okay.
any case, so no, nothing in this fucking place.
Nothing.
Just
nothing.
boring.
So, of course, because it's two theater departments coming together in a nothing place, and we've got this off-campus apartment in the hood that we can party at, like, no one's going to call the cops.
Right.
So we just start having these, like, wild ragers, these just crazy parties. And they're not huge. It's a small apartment. But we've got...
where was it at?
This is in Arkadelphia.
Okay.
Arkadelphia,
Oh,
Arkansas.
shit.
At your apartment?
This is at my boyfriend's apartment, at our apartment that we lived in together. We had an apartment together.
Right.
But he was the one, like, on his name was on the lease, and like we split it from there. We got, it was
Yeah.
a super cheap apartment. It was $125 a month.
Wait, what the?
I shit you not. But, like-
then we're moving to Arkadelphia.
It was it was cinder block, and it was cracked, and there were roaches, but like it was cheap as fuck. It was affordable.
Yeah.
But so we throw these like crazy ragers. So we've got like 30 theater students just shoved into this 1-bedroom apartment, drinking like the world is ending. And of course it turns into just this din of debauchery and sin and inequity, and like there's like just all the time just people fucking on couches and making out in the bed. And I remember at one point, two of my friends like had a like bet about whose balls hung lower, and like they pulled them out to. And I at this point in time, I was like obsessed with taking my tits out anytime.
It was just a thing.
It was just a thing.
Right.
It's just like I got 2 or 3
Phase.
shots in, and I just want to take my. I mean, I don't regret it. 'Cause
We've all
let me-
been there.
Well, let me be fair. My titties at 19 were great, and I miss them, and I'm glad I showed them off when I had them. But they're not looking the same anymore.
Message for all the young impressionable
Young
women
ladies,
out there.
show your tits now.
Yeah.
Don't the day you turn 18 till the day you turn 23. I want you to show your tits to at least 3 strangers. I here at Dr. Garbage, we recommend a minimum of 3 tit showings a day. But so in
That's
all of
homework.
this,
Side note.
yes,
We'll go back
there's
to that.
homework.
That will be part of the homework at the end.
But so we've got this place, and it's just insane. And we're drinking there all the time, and it got to a point where we called it tequila nights, where we just came over and just drank way too much tequila and played way too many drinking games. And one night, a friend of mine, he chugged like a 5th of Evan Williams in like an hour.
For those who don't know, that is a lot.
That's a lot of whiskey.
It's a fucking lot.
That's a lot of whiskey. So he got exceptionally sick. Exceptionally sick. So I'm in the bathroom taking care of him. Enter Gina. Gina and I are still friends at this point.
I was wondering when it was going to circle back
It's
around.
coming full
but
circle.
okay.
I know I went fall into exposition. But
China is coming full circle.
oh, it's not Gina who's coming. Gina blew my boyfriend in our living room while I was taking care of my friend throwing up in the toilet. So, she blows my boyfriend, And then she starts getting way too obnoxious. It gets out of hand, and we're like, all right, everybody needs to go. She starts refusing to go.
You didn't know at this point. I'm just clarifying. You didn't know.
No,
at this
I walked
What
in to see it,
point?
but I was like,
Right.
I was too drunk, and everyone else was too drunk for me to really like want to deal
Yeah,
with it in that
right.
moment. I was just like, all right, we're done. Everybody has to get out. It's getting too loud. Like the neighbors had already come over once. It was getting crazy. I was like, everybody has to leave. We're done.
Okay.
So everyone starts to leave. She starts throwing like a temper tantrum, like a 2-year-old temper tantrum. She was so drunk and out of her mind. And just like we had to drag her out of the house. She's like, I'm not leaving. I have just as much of a right to be here as anyone else. And we're like, no, you don't, because you don't pay for rent. So you need to get the fuck out. We're gonna go to sleep. So, like we ended up dragging her out. She lays down in the road and continues this tantrum, and we have to like throw her into the car. And I tell her she can't come back. Like she's not invited back for any of these. And then she goes crazy. Like I remember the next semester she didn't get called back for a role that she wanted in the musical, and she spent a full day in our bathroom crying and throwing up. Because I also technically had a dorm on campus where she was my suite mate, not my roommate, but my suite mate. So when I would go back to campus, I kept some stuff in there, like I kept my school stuff in there, my desk. So I heard her. It was insane. She went completely crazy. So then she starts like spreading these rumors because we stop inviting her to our crazy parties because she can't hold her liquor. Hashtag being a lush. Hashtag gets you flushed out our life, bitch. But she'd also blown my boyfriend.
Right.
So, but
Like
it was
blew on him, just like
Cur-
air
cur-
out
like
of the
no,
mouth.
straight up,
I'm
like
pretty sure yeah.
Oh,
I am
like
gonna- I am-
penis and mouth.
Yeah.
I do have to
oral
ask.
sex. Oral sex.
I do
Oral
have to
sex,
ask. At what
okay.
point do you have to blame the boyfriend?
I
a little bit?
absolutely blame him too. Do you want me to
Okay.
tell stories about him being a garbage person? Because I sure can.
We'll save that for later. I was just wondering because you're still with him at this point, yeah? Not to judge you.
Yes.
but-
Yes. Well, because I was 19 and
okay.
I was stupid as fuck.
Okay, that's
fig-
fair.
I
just
figured
wanted
that
to
out
know,
real
like,
quick,
did
and
he-
I figured that one out real quick. We broke up a couple months later. He was an interesting fella. That ended in spectacularly teenage fashion. It was so teenager. It was delightful. So Jana starts to spread all these weird rumors about me and my little group of friends. Like I had this group of friends because it was a private Baptist school. But we were a little more chill. We were the pot smokers. We drank some. You know, we weren't what I think at most schools we would have been considered super tame. But because it's, you know, Baptist school, we're considered wild and crazy.
Yeah.
She starts spreading these rumors along with a couple of her other friends that we're doing things like selling cocaine and getting freshmen drunk so we can have sex with them and film it and like really messed up stuff that was not true. I'd never seen cocaine at this point in my life. Like I still felt cool from having smoked weed. Like I was still discovering alcohol and marijuana at this point in my life. I had no room for cocaine.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in a lot of what, like, the pill popping was really big at that school, and I didn't participate in that. I was really happy with a little bit of marijuana and some beers every now and then. But so she's spreading these crazy rumors and just, like, starts making it her mission to be a dick to me because I wasn't so
giant
happy
or
with
dick?
her.
Please clarify.
A gina dick. A giant gina dick.
Okay.
Giant gina dick.
Internet, where is the drawing of this?
Hashtag giant gina.
Please. Please.
But so she couldn't understand why I wasn't so happy with her after this incident. So she just like starts making her business to make my life miserable. She would say ugly things to me during classes when we had dance classes together. She would make it a point to like give me, you know, shitty choreography or like shove me too hard, and I started to get pissed off and I'm shoving her back and it gets ridiculous. So fast forward to senior year, it continues on. Like we still hate each other. She's still a dick to me. I'm still a dick back. And her boyfriend is living with her in her apartment. It's senior year, so we're out of the dorms, but we're still in school-owned apartments, so there's still certain rules. So she's got an apartment. She's living with her boyfriend. I've got an apartment where my boyfriend is also living with me. Now, I didn't invite him to live with me. He just came one day and never left, but he's living with me nonetheless. So at one point, I don't even remember exactly what it was that like set me off, but she said something rude to me in our musical theater class that day, and I was just sick of it. I was sick of it. And I pulled up and I parked right next to her. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this bitch. And I keyed the shit.
Oh shit.
Keyed the absolute shit out of Gina's car. Keyed her car like a motherfucker. And felt so good about it.
In bird culture, this is considered a dick move.
I have to ask,
Excellent reference.
what kind of car was it?
Some shitty khaki thing. I don't know. It looked like pants you'd wear to like communion colored.
Okay.
That was
So you're saying like the sides, both sides? Like
Not both sides. I just got.
back, or
I
it's just
got
like
the.
one side
I
where
got
you're
the
just-
driver's side good. Like
Okay.
just dug into that shit. No,
The one
no.
that she has to see every day.
Yeah, no rhyme or
Yeah.
reason to it. There wasn't like I drew a picture or anything. It was just looked like the scribbles of a 5-year-old. It made me feel better because she'd been such a dick for so long, and I'd never even gotten to have it out with her about years ago her sucking my boyfriend's dick at that party because. She wouldn't let me bring it up. Like she would end it.
Up
Yeah, it just
for a
been
while,
building up and
yeah.
building up, and she'd started more rumors and just rumors and rumors and saying nasty shit, and then I just keyed her car. So she goes to administration to complain that someone has keyed her car. Turns out
administration
for the school, like
school.
housing services, the university, the prestigious, upstanding university, who none of my misdeeds reflect upon. Please don't rescind my diploma. But she goes to administration to complain, and turns out they were so sick of her making up rumors about other people that were unsubstantiated, that they waste resources. They knew apparently that her boyfriend was living with her, which is not allowed. And I don't know who reported her. She always thought it was me. I'm here to say I keyed the shit out of her car, but I didn't tell them about her boyfriend living there because my boyfriend was living with me too, so that'd be stupid.
Right.
But so apparently they knew that her boyfriend was living with her, but they weren't going to do anything about it unless she gave them more grief. And her coming in and throwing a fit about her car getting keyed was kind of the last straw. So they said, we really don't care about that shit. But by the way, we do know your boyfriend's living with you, so you're kicked out of the senior apartments and you have to go live in the freshman dorm for the rest of senior year.
Oh.
Boom. So I got to key her car, and then she got punished for
That's
it.
Oh.
so if
That just made me feel good.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
there's I
that
can't.
It
feeling
was
of
the
revenge.
best
Oh.
retribution, and I handled it so poorly. I was so young, and I was so mature.
Yeah.
I did not handle any of it well, but in the grand scheme of it, I do still feel like I was less in the wrong. We were both, there's this
Yeah.
ledger of the things we did to each other, and I think hers is 6 points higher than mine. But that just made me feel so good. It felt so good.
Oh.
I kind of feel. Yeah,
I think
feel
we
good
all
having
feel
heard
that
I think
feeling a little bit right now because
the
the story was going very one way, and it's oh, good job, you keyed her car,
It's a
that feels
real-
good,
yeah.
But then it's oh shit, now she's gonna bust
I had
you,
to
right?
deny it the
It's
whole
a
way. The whole
real-
time at OBU, I had to deny that it was me
Uh-huh.
because she was convinced it was me. She right.
Yeah.
And
But
she was telling everyone,
still.
she's like, I'm pretty sure she did it. And I was like, no, man, no. Why would I do that? Dude, I'm over it, man. I'm over it. It's behind
Yeah,
me.
now
I'm
you're
a
over
better
it.
person than that. Oh, I'm so over it now.
Yeah. No, it's a real David and Goliath.
I'm the king of Over It Mountain.
being shitty people. That's
Do you ever make subtle jabs? First of all, I don't even know if you talk to her anymore. but,
No.
Okay.
I imagine not.
I have not.
That freshman dorm. I'm so sorry. Oh.
Nope.
Sucks for
No,
you, man.
no, but I would give her passive aggressive smiles.
Just to be like, hey, you don't know for sure, but I know that you know.
Right.
Let's be
it's-
real though. Nothing you can say tops a passive aggressive smile.
Right.
yeah.
Because you can never be like, she smiled at me. You can repeat stuff that they said with a tone, but you can never be like, oh, she smiled. She smiled at you. Well, that sounds nice. No, but she smiled at me. It's well, that sounds pleasant.
It does. I'm gonna hang out with her.
Well, We learned a lot from this for sure. The depths, the amount that you're willing to take before you retaliate, the links that you will go to retaliate. That you should always show your tits off in public between certain ages. That's her advice, not mine.
Use them while they're good.
Yeah.
Use them while they're good.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I kind of want to just talk briefly on Gina and like get to know her a little bit, because we got to know her in the story. But I just want to ask, like, who, like, as a person, who is she? Because I mean, we got a good idea, but like,
Right. Gina and I were both musical theater majors.
Yeah. Right.
She
Just a recap, I guess.
she was, and you see this a lot in slightly more privileged, and this is just for background, y'all. I've been a professional actor for over a decade now. So I'm not speaking like it. I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm speaking from genuine experience that I've. But something you can see that you'll see a lot in people who had very much stage parents growing up, or had just too much money dumped into their theatrical education, is that they've been built up in their own minds to be at this level, and it's not their fault.
Right.
You know, it's not a moral failing in and of themselves, but it sets them up. It's something that the parents do that sets their kids up for failure later on, because so much of theater is being able to withstand, and film is being able to withstand the weight of rejection. And there are certain people that think very highly of themselves. They've been led to think very highly of themselves, their own ability, their own skill, their own likability, that they're not able to handle a certain amount of rejection.
Right.
So she came in thinking that she was Sutton Foster. Like, I remember her actually telling me that she sounded better than Sutton Foster on a certain song, which, if you know Sutton Foster, she is one of the greatest Broadway performers to ever live. She is like our modern day I took musical theater history, insert name that I should know here. I took a whole class on that, and I'm just blanking because I'm like the marijuana was just like, nah, but how awesome was Half Baked? But it's
Marlon Brando. Right. Just shove in Marlon Brando's name. I'm sure he's saying at
There
some
you
point.
go. But it's a common thing, and she had that problem of any form of rejection hit her so heavily. She wasn't really able to stick with musical theater, even though she had so much confidence in herself at the start. She wasn't able to stick with it more than the first 2 years, really. She was a phenomenally talented artist, very talented artist. Even when I don't particularly like someone, I can admit their talents.
Oh, no, you should always.
Very talented artist.
Right, yeah.
She was a really good singer.
We are all human garbage, but we
have
are
our
all
talents,
Yeah.
right? We have our talents.
We're all here.
Make sure you recognize the human in everyone, along with the garbage.
Along with
Yes.
Yeah.
bullshit, yeah.
But very talented artist. But then she kind of she dropped by the wayside senior year to get really Jesus-y with this boyfriend who I think was trying to be a preacher, and I have no clue what she's up to these days, but I assume at this point she's probably a preacher's wife, the way it was going. A lot of the people that I graduated with, a lot of the women I graduated with are preacher's wives.
Get that MRS degree.
You gotta
do it.
That Jesus.
It's crazy. Like, I'm the only working female that they produced that entire year.
Wow.
And actually they only produced 2 working male actors, I think.
Well, that's probably pretty standard statistics for any musical theater
Fair
program,
enough.
to be fair.
Fair enough.
And this is not even me disparaging the major as a whole. I'm not making fun of it, because I am. I have a fucking English degree, and that shit is useless. Like, it's we all, I think, maybe not Ben, but we all took majors that were pretty shitty,
Right.
in general.
So, for context, I am a digital film major.
Never mind. He definitely made the wrong choice.
But I was gonna say,
You've
yeah,
you've done things with it. To be fair, you've done
sure,
things with it.
but it's definitely, there's some things that are on that same level. It's like, I didn't really have to go into all this debt for.
I managed not to
major,
go.
you know.
I managed not to go into any debt for my musical theater degree. Like, I paid for
Okay,
it all.
see,
But no,
you're
well
the
now,
real
but then I
MVP.
made the horrible mistake of getting cervical cancer at 24. So I'm in just as much debt as if I paid for a useless
Fuck you,
fucking
all
degree.
right?
Damn.
Right? How dare I
how dare
have a sickly, horrid, deformed cervix that
You
no
can-
man wants to
You
grab?
can just turn off cancer. Yeah. I'm trying not to cross the line.
Who
I feel
the
like
Cancer
I
and periods, the 2 things you can turn off. Just don't.
did. Right? Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
Who the fuck grabs a cervix? That was my question and all that.
Cancer, Wells. Cancer.
But all right. Well, we will try not to get too far into that.
We could.
I'm
honestly looking forward to more.
Esmond episodes. If you don't think
Kayla Esmond Adventures in Garbage,
Shit talks with Dr. Garbage.
Shit talks with
I wrote
Dr.
that down
Garbage.
because I think that would be a good
He really
That's
did.
awesome.
I was really laughing at one point because I just saw him write down shit talk as if he was taking notes on your
That's
story.
awesome. I love that.
No, but if you are at home thinking, God, I hate Kayla, I hope that I never have to hear her voice again.
Hey.
You're probably in for a bad time because she will be back on. There's no way
I
she's
hated
not.
me first and I hated me worse. So you hipster hating fucks.
And let us know, like, if you
Yeah.
if don't keep it bottled up. If you hate what you
For
just
sure.
heard, like, let us know.
Oh,
Like,
please let
'cause
me
this
know.
This is for that kind of thinking.
Well, I mean, nothing makes me happier than people taking like 10 seconds out of their day to shit talk me on the internet. It makes me feel so famous and so good about myself. So if
We
you want
love
me to
it.
feel good about myself, please go and shit talk me on the internet.
Just tell her what a piece of crap she is.
See, I see these interviews kind of like we fill up the trash can throughout the week with our normal episodes, and then now these are a chance basically to take out the trash and just dump it
back
all over
you,
back into the world, right? And
No, but if you haven't already,
landfills.
yeah, we love you guys.
Yeah.
If you haven't already figured it out, Kayla is an immensely talented. I say that with massive air quotation marks. Comedian and actress. No, she really is, and she.
I haven't seen her, so
I have. She's really funny.
Thank you. Thank you, Wells.
She,
So
if you're in the Central Arkansas area, she works every Tuesday at the Joint. She puts on a show. So make some time.
It's not my show. It's an open mic, but I'm there pretty much every Tuesday, along with a lot of other really talented local people.
For sure.
Is that in Little Rock?
Yeah, there's actually. Well, it's in North Little Rock technically, but there's a lot of there's a lot of really good comedy in Little Rock. North Little Rock and Little Rock that I don't know if people quite realize, but there's so many talented comedians. It's very strong comedy culture out here. We've got sketch comedy, we've got improv, we've got stand-up.
For sure.
Almost anything you can want to see. We've got full 2-act at the Joint every Friday and Saturday. They do the main event. It's a full 2-act, usually musical, original writing. They do it for 6 weeks. It's 3 actors who play all the characters, and the people who write it, like, they used to write for SNL. Like,
Damn.
there's some gems out here that I don't think we always realize.
Well, that's pretty badass, and I'm gonna have to check that out. But Kayla is about to release her own podcast called Law and Criminal. So
Law and Criminal,
if
yes.
you enjoyed that, definitely check that out. From what I understand,
What's just like a brief?
Yeah, go ahead.
Law and Criminal. Well, it's going to be a kind of true crime. We'll talk about murder some because I love true crime, the really intense stuff. But we're gonna do. My boyfriend is a bankruptcy attorney, and I have the world's most like pussy criminal rap sheet of all time. So he does really like mundane street law. He's got a lot of experience with the law that we actually come into contact with the most in our lives. I've committed a lot of really mundane crimes, so we're gonna do kind of a true street crime podcast. Where we're gonna talk about famous bankruptcies. We're gonna explain what bankruptcy is. We're gonna talk about your will and what constitutes a will, what constitutes a suicide note. When does what you say in your suicide note actually override your will? Famous wills, famous suicide. Like, we're gonna get into all sorts of stuff that you don't realize affect your everyday life.
Lots of suicide. Lots of wills.
So much of it.
Okay, so yeah.
But
If that interests you, check it out, please.
Absolutely. Kayla's a good friend of the show, and we really look forward to having you back on. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. And if you're interested, I do. I'm going to be in Chicago here for a few weeks coming up. I'm going to be in Boise, Idaho. I'm going to be in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas. If you follow me at Kaylawa, KAYLAWAA on Twitter, I post about all my upcoming shows. If you'd like to follow. If not, I mean, feel free to tweet me that you hate me. That's all right. I'll get off to that.
She will.
She will. So, well, I
It's
think
been-
that about wraps it up.
Yep. I think we have an outro coming out. It's probably already happened by now. Being Human Garbage is an Art Flag production. Episodes are written, performed, and edited by Ben Drain and Wells Thompson. Ben is a sound and video editor, specializing in commercials for car dealerships, and he's very sorry about that.
Wells is a freelance writer, which is another way of saying that he's poor and waiting tables. Like Being Human Garbage on Facebook and follow us on Twitter @WeLikeGarbage for updates and more content.
Email beinghumangarbage@gmail.com to share your own garbage stories, give feedback, or talk to the team directly. All content is 100% satirical, except for when it's not.
Material is used fairly and unfairly as we see fit. All rights are reserved, whatever that's supposed to mean.
See you next time, trash cans.